Working conditions have a great impact on teachers' emotions, yet the stories that teachers generate about their practice also play a relevant role. But can teachers' stories be modified to improve their emotional experience? In our research, we have observed how some teachers modified their way of narrating situations, change that was associated with an improvement in their emotions. We have been able to identify some mechanisms used by these teachers to modify their stories. In this video, we will explain 3 basic mechanisms that can be useful. The first mechanism can be called change of perspective. It consists of seeing an event from a different perspective. For example, a teacher felt bad because of her students' disruptions in class, which she understood as a provocation towards her. She made a shift in perspective and began to see these disruptions as the students' way of telling her that they were not doing well and were having problems at home. She went from seeing the disruptions as provocations to her to seeing them as the students' way of asking her for help, and that allowed her to deal with these situations with greater emotional strength. What can help us to make this kind of change? One exercise that helped another teacher to make this change in perspective consisted of imagining an event that caused her distress, for example, a disruption, in an imaginary situation in which the event could have some positive connotation. This helped him to see a new perspective in order to resignify the situation. A second mechanism can be called hybridization. It consists of merging a desire or duty of the teacher with action or desires of other people. For example, a teacher had to teach an English subject, but the students were interested in other things. The teacher generated a new goal in her narrative to develop the students' own interest using English. This allowed the students' interest to cease to be in contradiction with the English subject and consequently a better emotional experience on the part of the teacher. A third mechanism consists of introducing and elaborating background information on events that cause discomfort for the teacher. For example, one teacher, when faced with student disruptions, experienced less emotional distress when she considered that the disruption was a result of a child's self-control problem. Considering this background allowed her to face these disruptions with greater emotional serenity. Narrative modification is an additional tool that can help teachers improve their emotional experience, in addition to improving working conditions. It is not a simple task, and it must always be done from plausibility, according to the reality experienced by the teacher. Even so, our study shows that this modification is possible and that it is associated with emotional improvements. In this sense, the mechanisms of change of perspective, hybridization, and background elaboration can be useful tools for teachers.